Hello, everyone. On this Sunday, 7 September 2025, I am Madam Anireju Erewa. Wherever you are in the world, I greet and welcome you to my channel, Anireju News. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Mete wa Biafra de no. Mete na wa Biafra de no. Asina he yi tibi megi. Mete wa Biafra de no. Akane hiora dule o. Mete wa Biafra de no.
The British created Nigeria as a forced union that served the interests of outsiders who came into West Africa between the 12th and 15th centuries. The different groups arrived at different times. Yes, they arrived at different times. Yoruba journeyed from the Americas through Mecca in the 12th century and settled in the western region of present-day Nigeria. Kukuruku of present-day Igbede Edo North arrived in the 13th century to the south of north of Benin Empire. Fulani came through Mecca in the 14th century to the northern region. British arrived from Europe in the 15th century, and upon discovering the resources of the eastern region, Biafra, British manipulated the creation of Nigeria to weaken and exploit Biafra. Yeah. I have 4 videos and commentary. Let's watch the first video.
We lied a lot to the public. Government was lying. I suspected that we were lying, but I wasn't too sure. You see, when people tell you, because I was reporting the meetings, when they told us President Yaradua was playing with his children, the stories were not adding up. But when I confirmed that we were being fed with lies.
So at that time, you were not having access to the president?
No. Nobody had access to him once he was flown abroad. Nobody had access. The cabal took over. They were in charge of everything. It was all the president said, Mr. President said. Even when you knew they were lying, you could not be too sure. But when I confirmed that they were lying, and confirmed that the president was not in a position to give instructions or sign anything was when they went to get him sign, was it the bill, National Assembly bill? And when they came back, I started asking questions. You see, when three people say three different things, then you know that they did not come together to agree on a common lie to tell. One of them said that they stayed in another town and sent the National Assembly document for the president to sign. One of them said, the same person told me, one person said he was downstairs and sent it up for him to sign. And another person told me that he went and saw him, and the ADC and the CSO did not allow him to talk with him, and they gave it to him to sign.
Consistency.
So there was inconsistency, and I concluded that we were being fed with lies, and I was consequently feeding the public with lies. I got disturbed. I got so disturbed that I was not able to sleep anymore.
You have seen the video and heard Dora Akuniyili of blessed memory say that the Nigerian government lies a lot to the public. She explained that when she realized the government had made her feed lies to the people, she became deeply disturbed and she could no longer sleep. This was during Jonathan Ebele regime. Yeah, you heard her. Okay, let's watch the second video.
My people, something is happening in Nigeria, and if you don't open your eyes, you will miss it. The Yoruba and the Fulani, two groups that never trusted each other, have suddenly become best friends. Today, they are singing the same chorus: restructuring, restructuring, restructuring. To the ordinary man, it may sound like fairness is finally coming, but let me tell you the truth. It is a trap. Yes, restructuring is now their last weapon against Biafra. Why do I say this? Because every time Nigeria is about to collapse, they bring out sweet words to deceive people. In 1967, they call it Aburi Accord. Ojukwu trusted it, but Gowon betrayed it. Millions of Biafrans die as a result. Today, they are using restructuring as the new Aburi Accord. Stay with me until the very end, because I will expose how Yoruba and Fulani are working hand in hand to cage the Igbo nation. I will show you the history, the lies, the broken promises, and why Biafra must never fall for restructuring. By the end of this video, you will see clearly that this so-called restructuring is nothing but a sugar-coated shame. Why Yoruba and Fulani suddenly became friends. For decades, Yoruba and Fulani politicians were never true friends. In fact, they clashed openly. During the June 12 election crisis, Yoruba felt betrayed by the North because Moshood Abiola was denied his victory. During debates over Sharia law, Yoruba opposed Fulani religious domination. Even in power sharing, Yoruba always complained that Fulani refused to let go of the presidency. But suddenly, in this season, they are united. Yoruba politicians like Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Northern Fulani highlights are now smiling together, pushing one agenda: restructuring. Why this sudden love affair? The answer is simple: Biafra. They fear the rise of the Igbo nation. They see how Nnamdi Kanu's message has spread beyond Nigeria. They see how Biafrans in the diaspora are lobbying international governments and they see how the agitation has refused to die. Instead of fighting each other, Yoruba and Fulani have decided to form a common front to stop Biafra. History shows that whenever the Igbo rise, the other groups forget their quarrels and unite against us. That is what is happening again. Today, and restructuring is the sweet song they are using to deceive both their people and Igbo. We must not fall for it. The sweet but dangerous promise of restructuring. Restructuring sounds attractive on the surface. They say each region will control its resources. They say power will return to the states. They say local governments will have more freedom. If you hear it for the first time, you may clap your hands, but look deeper. My brothers and sisters, who will design this restructuring? The same politicians who have lied for decades. The APC manifesto of 2014 clearly promised restructuring, and state police Yoruba leaders told their people support Buhari. He will bring through federalism. Fulani leaders smile and agree. But after they took power, Buhari laughed and threw away the manifesto for 8 good years. 8 good years. Restructuring was not mentioned again. Atiku Abubakar, another Fulani politician, also promised restructuring. During his campaign, he said, if I become president, I will restructure Nigeria within 6 months. Imagine. But when he lost, the same Fulani establishment laughed because they never wanted it in the first place. Even in the 2014 National Conference, set up by Jonathan, produced a strong report recommending restructuring. But as soon as Buhari entered office, he said the report belonged to the waste bin. So you see, restructuring is nothing but a trick. They use it to calm tempers during elections, but once in power, they dump it. That is why Biafra must see through this last lie. The ghost of Aburi Accord. History is repeating itself in front of our eyes. In 1967, when Biafra demanded freedom, the Nigerian government pretend to offer a solution. They invite Ojukwu to Ghana for peace talks. That meeting produced the Aburi Accord. What did the accord say? It promised that every region in Nigeria will have autonomy. It promised that no region would dominate another. Ojukwu accepted it in good faith because he wanted peace, not war. But when Gowon returned to Lagos, the Yoruba Fulani elite whispered in his ear, if you implement Aburi, Nigeria will collapse. Igbo will rise too strong. Immediately, Gowon betrayed the agreement. That betrayal opened the gates of war. Millions of Biafrans, especially women and children, were starved to death. Aburi Accord became nothing but a symbol of treachery. Today, restructuring is the new Aburi Accord. They are packaging it as a fairness, but in reality, they have no plan to implement it. Just like 1967, they will sign it with one hand and betray with the other. Biafra must remember, Nigeria's leaders have no record of keeping promises. They deceive, they delay, and then they destroy. Restructuring is just the modern phase of Aburi betrayal. The fear of Biafra economy, power. Why are they so afraid of Biafra? The answer is not politics. It is economy. The Igbo man is naturally gifted in trade, industry, and creativity. Even under oppression, Igbo people dominate the markets, build businesses, and control technology. If Biafra becomes independent, the economy of Nigeria will collapse overnight. Imagine if Igbo oil, gas, seaports, and industry are controlled by a free Biafra. Nigeria would lose its major source of wealth. The Fulani not depend on oil revenue. The Yoruba West depend on Igbo trade in Lagos and across the Southwest. Without Igbo energy, their economy will shrink. This is why Yoruba and Fulani are desperate to block Biafra. They know that once Igbo resources are managed by Igbo hand, there will be no need to depend on Abuja. That freedom terrifies them. Even with all the oppression, look at the Igbo spirit. Aba, Onisha, and Inewi are hubs of innovation. Igbo youth abroad are excelling in technology, medicine, and business. If this same energy is channeled into a free Biafra, the nation will rise like Japan or Israel. Nigeria know this truth, and that is why they are using restructuring as a cage. It is not about fairness. It is about keeping Igbo wealth under their control. How Yoruba allies betray before. We must not forget history. During the Civil War, Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
You have seen the video. It's because of the content, the discussion is about 10 minutes long. You've seen the video and heard whenever the people of Biafra Eastern region rise in awareness, the Fulani and Yoruba form alliances to cast a deceit with false promises. You heard it. Example, the Aburi Accord in Ghana, which General Yakubu Gowon later breached. You heard this whole explanation about the Aburi. It was all deceit. Ojukwu went in confidence. But what did Gowon do? He breached it. It was all lies. It was all lies. So you can understand why this video takes a little longer. Yeah. The same pattern continues today with talk of restructuring, a tool Yoruba and Fulani used to distract and deceive Biafra. Shey una dey hear? Biafra people, especially coastal, be wise. Do not fall a prey of Fulani and Yoruba restructure deception scams. That's why this video took longer, because it really went in depth explaining that this restructuring they are talking about is a scam. It's a scam. You heard it all in the video. So don't fall a prey. Yes. And Ijo and Urobo, who are for Niger Delta movement for emancipation of Ijo, are also intertwined in the restructuring pit of hell, deception, fabrication, lies. Very important, because during the war, Urobo was not for Biafra, and Urobo deceived coastal and some Ijo, especially Urobo. because nobody knew that Urhobo was not for Biafra. You know? So this time around, it's important to understand these things. Very important. So it's restructuring now that they are talking about. It's all lies. Ijo Asari Dokubo, Niger Delta Avengers, and Tompolo have used restructuring for personal gain, collecting blood corruption money benefits while holding their Ijo people hostage and keeping their Ijo territorial Niger Delta in slums, because Ijo is for Niger Delta movement. You know, the Isaac Adakaboro. And some Urhobo. Yes. Okay. All right. Okumagba, Urhobo have teamed up with Ijo Tompolo to use the Fulani APC INEC politics to fuel conflicts in Warri Kingdom. That is a title of Ishekiri Iwere people. Okumagba and Tompolo are doing this trespass violation outside of their own Urhobo kingdoms and Ijo kingdoms. Okumagba and Tompolo want to bring a kingdom from the Urhobo kingdoms and a kingdom from the Ijo kingdoms to be implanted inside Ishekiri Warri Kingdom. How possible is that? Okay. In evil desperation attempt to use the Fulani APC INEC that the Ijo Tompolo shared portion of the huge money, huge corruption contract money that Fulani Yoruba Nigeria gave to him, in addition to the AK-47 rifles storage hideout he acquired from the Yoruba Fulani Nigeria government. So you heard all that. When Biafra is rise their awareness, then you see Yoruba and Fulani, they form alliance. And then they help Urhobo. They have some Urhobos, not all, but some Urhobos to do their biddings, and Ijo to do their biddings in coastal. Yes. Yes, so it's good to pay very close attention to this. Yes. Meanwhile, Umukoro Onoriode Urhobo, street hustler in the UK, is using false narrative to excite crisis in Warri Kingdom from the UK. Shall not hear? Umukoro Onoriode, be warned seriously. Yes, be warned seriously. You are in UK and you are causing excited crisis in Warri Kingdom that that Ishekiri is the landlord and owner. Okay. You are taking on more than you can chew and swallow. Yes, Umukoro, you are taking on more than you can chew and swallow and be warned. Yes, enough of this nonsense. Yes, enough of it. Advanced research I made on Urobo shows that peaceful coexistence is never an option, which Urobo Okumagba and Umukoro Onoriode and Ijo Tompolo scenarios have unfortunately made the diverse Urobo tribes and Ijo diverse tribes to now look like parasites. A few Urobo and Ijo now make the broader Urobo diverse tribes that are peaceful and Ijo diverse tribes that are peaceful, a few handful Urobo, Okumagba, Umukoro, Onoriode, and Tompolo now make this other diverse Ijo tribes and Urobo diverse tribes to look parasite. Okay. Visit Anireju News episode 48, where I traced the historical origin of the Urobo migrations. The Eku Agbon family group from the ancient Benin Empire around 14th to 17th centuries, with records of conflicts wherever they go and attempted to settle. Yes. If you go online and to Eku Urobo conflicts 1792, the information is there. Also, Eku Agbon War 1792 is there. Like Fulanis, wherever they go, they try to settle. They are in conflict with the people they met. Which is exactly what Okumagba, Umukoro, Onoriode, and Tompolo are causing in Ishekiri, Iwere, Wari Kingdom. Okay. Yes. Let's watch a third video. News of fourth coronation of Atuwashe the third Olu of Warri.
Finally, under milestones, we promised to bring this to you yesterday. While in a vibrant display of culture, history, and tradition, His Majesty Ogiame Atuwashe III, the 21st Olu of Warri, recently celebrated his fourth coronation anniversary. He was first crowned on August 21st, 2021. More than just a celebration. The week-long anniversary highlighted the unity and strength of the Shekiri people and honored the Olu's exemplary leadership. The festivities began at the Palace Church in Agofen with songs of praise and thanksgiving. The celebrations also included commissioning of the renewed Hope Mother and Child Specialist Hospital in Ishekiri, language competition, and exciting novelty football matches for both men and women, featuring some of Nigeria's most prominent legends. The event was a powerful opportunity for the community to come together and celebrate their rich heritage. Complete Steve, my Delta brother. You know I'm coming to you and this story. You don't know nobody knows the question. But I mean, what royalties? This is, you know, I mean, it was so beautiful to see the coronation, and I loved what he did for that whole week. Like I said, he had the football match for the legends, and he also had the language competition, which I love, and of course, the health center and all of those community engagement and showing the rich culture of the people of Warri. The Shekiri people know they carry last
King of
days.
Ogiameso, fantastic.
Ogiameso. Well, all right. Yes. Right now he's in Ghana.
Yes. But it just shows a rich historical antecedents of the Shekiri people.
Yes.
And what they represent. Style, splendor, you know, and association. And when you look at the Shekiri, and you also look at the historical antecedents, you know, the meeting with the British, the colonial master, what they represent over the years, then you can only see such a spectacle like this. And when you have a king that understands, that was groomed to be in the position, he lived all his life to be a king. You know, he went to schools that teach him about royalty and the likes. You can only see such a great spectacle like this. And it's just wonderful to see that the Ishekiri culture has been promoted in an Ishekiri, you know, language competition. You can see football and novelty. You can see the waters. You know, the Ishekiri are known for their affinity to the waters, or the Ishekiri and the likes, and you can see the celebration of what, you know, the king represents and the Olu represents. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't expect anything less. And at a time like this, I will also want to use this platform to call for peace.
You have seen the video, commentary, news that shows the rich cultural heritage of the Ishekiri Iwere people at the fourth coronation of Ogiame Atuwashe the third, the Olu of Warri. This was in 2025, just last week. Yes. Ishekiri owns Warri, and they have always been there. Urobo. Some families that moved around like Fulani, and then you are coming to excite conflict in Warri. Come on. That's yes. Meanwhile, Urobo and Ijo elements Okumagba Umukoro Onoriode Tompolo continue to violate Ishekiri territory, often invoking the same Yoruba Fulani restructuring Niger Delta movement for emancipation of Ijaw scams. All scams. Aburi Accord was a scam. Now is restructuring a scam. And then Niger Delta movement a scam. All scams. Yes. Let it be clear. Biafra restoration is ongoing and unstoppable. Yes. Just as Ojukwu of blessed memory declared on 30th May 1967. Yes, it's unstoppable. Okay. Let's watch a fourth video song. You've watched and heard the Biafra Freedom Now video song. Lovely song. Yes. Yes. Biafra is unstoppable. The restoration of Biafra is unstoppable. Yes. Biafra freedom restoration is the only solution to put an end to the British created Nigeria jeopardy, catastrophes, and human tragedies, fiascos, and sufferings. It's Biafra freedom restoration. That's the only solution to it. Not restructuring, not Niger Delta movement. Biafra restoration, freedom restoration is the only solution that will stop it. And that's why they are running hater skater. They are scared. And then they have formed alliance. And God Somurobo, Anijo Okumagba, Tompolo, and Umukoro Honorede. It's not going to work this time around because you have all failed woefully. Biafra restoration is unstoppable. Yes. Okay. The Yoruba establishments must respect the rule of law and end all further trials of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu immediately. Yes, end it. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Anireju News. If you would like to support humanitarian causes, you may donate via Cash App. You may also visit Anireju News online shop for t-shirts, pens, mugs, and other souvenirs. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to help spread the awareness that restructuring is a pit of hell. It's a scam like the Aburi Accord. Before it is again a British Fulani Yoruba scam designed to hold Biafra in bondage. Thank you.
Mete wa Biafra de no. Mete wa Biafra de no. Asina heri jibi megi. Mete wa Biafra de no. Akane